Life as overcoming. I am old, my friend. I have lived a long life, and perhaps that is why I can see things not with the hurried eyes of a man still rushing forward, but with the calm gaze of one who has already walked his path. I have seen wars and times of peace, hunger and abundance. I have witnessed humanity make great discoveries, and I have seen it destroy the very fruits of its own labor. And the longer I live, the clearer a simple truth becomes to me. The meaning of our life is not found in comfort, but in overcoming. Yes, precisely in overcoming. We were not born to sit in eternal ease. We were born for struggle, for movement, for becoming better by facing hardship head-on, you may object. But isn't the goal of life happiness? Don't we all strive to escape pain and suffering? Of course we strive for it. But if one day all suffering were to vanish, if life became too easy, we would lose our very ability to be human. Allow me to explain. From the very beginning, our species existed in struggle. The first humans went out to hunt, risking their lives for a piece of meat. They froze in the cold, starved, hid from beasts and storms. And through it all, they had but one tool, the capacity to overcome. They found ways to stay warm, to build shelters, to defend themselves, to prevail. Every step forward was born from necessity. If the cold had not driven them into caves, there would have been no fire. If disease had not stalked them, there would have been no medicine. If danger had not loomed, there would have been no weapons, no culture of protection. This is the law. Without challenge, there is no growth. Hardship gives birth to progress. And the greater the trials a person meets, the higher they rise. But now imagine, what if one day all trials were gone? Today, humanity moves ever closer to building a world without deprivation. Machines labor in our stead. Food is produced in such quantities that hunger no longer threatens entire nations. Medicine pushes back disease. Human life grows longer. At first glance, this is paradise. Yet I tell you, in such a paradise lies a trap. For if everything is given, the very necessity to struggle vanishes. And if struggle vanishes, so too does the joy of victory. In abundance, man easily loses the taste for life itself. He ceases to grow. He drowns in comfort. And then begins the slow decline. Many will say, these are just philosophical fears. But I know of an example where it has already happened. An experiment forever remembered as Universe 25. John Calhoun, an American scientist of the mid-20th century, conducted one of the most striking experiments in the history of ethology. He sought to see what would happen if living beings were placed in perfect conditions. He took a colony of mice and placed them into a large enclosure, their own little world, a universe. Inside was everything, endless supplies of food and water, no predators, cozy nests, safe corners. The mice needed to struggle for nothing. Life was given freely. At first, the colony flourished. Numbers grew rapidly. It seemed the experiment would confirm the dream of paradise. In ideal conditions, society should thrive without end. But as their numbers rose, strange things began to happen. Aggression appeared without cause. Mothers abandoned their young. Males withdrew, losing interest in competition or reproduction. Then came a generation Calhoun called the beautiful ones. These mice lived differently. They did not fight, did not reproduce, did not form bonds. They simply ate, slept, groomed themselves, and sought pleasure. Their fur was smooth without scars, but in their eyes burned no fire. From that point, decline began. The population stopped growing, then fell. No one starved, no predators struck them down. Yet life lost its meaning and the colony died out. The experiment revealed a harsh truth. Meeting basic needs is not enough. Food and safety alone cannot sustain life. A species survives only when there is challenge, purpose, tension, something to struggle for. When I first read about Universe 25, I was shaken. I saw not just a study of mice, but a warning for mankind. Think, we dream of building a world without war, disease, or hunger. But if one day we succeed, we will face the same fate as those mice. At first, we will rejoice in abundance, but soon motivation will fade. The young will stop striving. More and more people will seek only simple pleasures. Social bonds will weaken. Family, friendship, shared goals will lose value. Society will become a realm of beautiful ones, sated, calm yet hollow within. I do not claim this is inevitable, but the risk is real, because we, like the mice, depend on struggle. It is our breath. Without it, we lose ourselves. Here we reach the heart of it. What then is the meaning of life? I tell you plainly, the meaning of life is in overcoming. Not in final happiness, not in eternal rest, but in movement forward. Man is alive while he grows. Man is happy when he conquers hardship. Look at the heroes of history. Their greatness was born from struggle, against hunger, against enemies, against injustice, against their own weakness. Even the simplest stories follow the same pattern, an obstacle, a path of overcoming, and the growth of the hero. And each of us lives the same tale. We face failures, losses, mistakes, but these are what shape us. Pain teaches us to value joy. Trials reveal hidden strength. Hardship grants the chance to become better. One could say that the very fabric of life is woven from challenges. Even the cells in our bodies survive only by resisting chaos. Nature itself exists in constant tension between order and entropy. Man is no exception. But what if utopia does come? If we truly build a world where outer hardships are gone, does that mean humanity is doomed? No. For we have one gift the mice lacked. We can create our own purpose. We can seek out new challenges, even when the old ones vanish. In utopia, man will battle his own idleness, his boredom, his emptiness. He will invent new horizons, the conquest of space, the mysteries of the mind, the depths of the sea, the heights of art and spirit. He will find hardship where none exists, and that will save us. To live in utopia, one must learn to set out upon self-made roads of struggle. Without this, stagnation. With it, endless movement. The future does not depend on technology. Machines, medicines, robots, these are tools only. The future depends on whether we can preserve within ourselves the thirst for struggle. If we can, we will live forever, for there will always be new horizons. If we cannot, we will vanish like the colony of Universe 25, even with everything in our hands. That is why I say, do not fear hardship. Accept it as a gift. Each day, seek that which makes you stronger. Do not aim for an easy life. Aim for a real one. For only where there is overcoming, there is meaning. So here's my conclusion. The true essence of life is found in the struggle itself. Not in the final triumph, but in the journey. Because even in a perfect world, we must continue to challenge ourselves. That is what defines our humanity. If you don't want to miss what's next, make sure to subscribe and join me for the upcoming videos. I truly hope these ideas will inspire you on your own path of discovery.